Have you ever stood before a picture of the Great Pyramid of Giza and just felt small? These colossal structures have baffled us for thousands of years. They seem to have just appeared, fully formed, out of the desert sands. But what if I told you that's not the whole story? What if the journey to building these wonders was a long trial-and-error process, filled with genius, ambition, and even a few spectacular failures? Today, we're going to peel back the layers of time and uncover the hidden evolution of the pyramids, from humble beginnings to the monumental icons we know today. Our story starts long before the first pyramid. In a time when Egyptian pharaohs were buried in much simpler tombs called Imagine a rectangular flat-roofed building made of mud bricks sitting over an underground burial chamber. For the early Egyptians, this was a house for eternity. The underground chamber was where the deceased's body, or mummy, was placed, surrounded by all the things they'd need in the afterlife: food, furniture, and personal treasures. Above ground, the Mastabas served as a monument and a chapel, a place where family could leave offerings and say prayers for the departed soul. It was practical, but it wasn't grand. It didn't scream divine king. That was all about to change with one man's revolutionary vision. Enter He wasn't a pharaoh, but his name is just as legendary. As the vizier and chief architect for King Djoser around 2650 BC, Imhotep was tasked with designing his king's eternal resting place. But Imhotep had a radical idea. Instead of just one mastaba, why not stack them? He started with a traditional square mastaba, but then, instead of stopping, he placed a slightly smaller one on top, and then another, and another, until he had created a 6-step structure, soaring nearly 200 feet into the sky. This wasn't just a tomb. It was a stairway to the heavens, a physical representation of the king's ascent to join the gods. The Step Pyramid of Djoser was born. It was the world's first large-scale stone building, a complete game-changer in architecture. Imhotep didn't just build a tomb. He invented the pyramid. The success of the Step Pyramid kicked off a century of furious architectural experimentation. The next major leap was attempted by Pharaoh Djoser's successor and the father of Khufu, the builder of the Great Pyramid. Sneferu was obsessed with perfection. His first attempt at a true, smooth-sided pyramid is now known as the Bent Pyramid. If you look at it, you'll see something strange. It starts rising from the desert at a steep 54-degree angle. But about halfway up, the angle suddenly changes to a much gentler 43 degrees. Why? The architects likely realized their initial angle was too steep, and the structure was becoming unstable. There's evidence of cracks and structural stress inside the pyramid's chambers. Faced with a potential collapse, they made a mid-construction adjustment, giving the pyramid its unique, bent shape. It was a magnificent failure, a crucial lesson learned in stone. But Sneferu wasn't one to give up. He immediately commissioned another pyramid nearby at Djoser. This time, learning from his previous mistake, he built the Red Pyramid. It was the first successful, true, smooth-sided pyramid in history. He used that safer 43-degree angle from the start, and the result was a stable, beautiful, and massive monument. Its name comes from the reddish hue of its core limestone blocks, which are revealed now that most of its outer white casing stones are gone. With the Red Pyramid, Sneferu had finally cracked the code. He had perfected the design and the techniques that would pave the way for his son Khufu to build the biggest of them all. And then came the Giza Plateau. This is where pyramid building reached its zenith. Sneferu's son, Khufu, used the knowledge passed down to him to construct the Great Pyramid. For over 3,800 years, it was the tallest man-made structure in the world. Its precision is the sides are aligned almost perfectly to the cardinal points, and the stones are cut so precisely that you can't fit a knife blade between them. Following Khufu, his son Kheper built the second-largest pyramid at Giza, which is famous for appearing taller than the Great Pyramid because it was built on higher ground. It's also the one that still has some of its original polished limestone casing at the very top, giving us a glimpse of how dazzling these structures once looked, shining bright white under the Egyptian sun. And of course, we can't forget Kheper's other contribution, the Great Sphinx, the guardian of the plateau, carved from a single ridge of limestone. The third and smallest of the main Giza pyramids was built by Menkaure Kheper's son. Though smaller, It was known for its intricate temple complex and the high-quality granite used in its construction. So, why the decline? After the Giza pyramids, the era of colossal pyramid building began to fade. Later, pharaohs built much smaller pyramids, often using mud brick cores that have since crumbled into mounds of rubble. There are a few reasons for this. The immense cost and labor required to build on the scale of Giza were unsustainable. The religious focus also shifted. Instead of putting all the emphasis on a massive pyramid, later kings focused on elaborate temple decorations and hidden tombs. Like those in the Valley of the Kings, the pyramids had served their purpose. They had successfully established the pharaoh as a divine being, a god on earth. They were the ultimate expression of power and faith. From the simple Mastabas, a house for the dead, to Imhotep's stairway to the heavens, through Sneferu's daring experiments and culminating in the perfect awe-inspiring monuments at Giza. The evolution of the pyramids is a story of human ingenuity, ambition, and the timeless quest for eternity. These stones do more than just mark a tomb. They tell the story of a civilization reaching for the stars. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this journey back in time, don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures into the ancient world. See you next time.